crystal lovers, Ashley here with the Love and Light School of Crystal Therapy. I thought I would just do a little live today while I am organizing my crystal collection. So this has been a huge process. I've been doing it for a couple weeks now, and I'm going through all my crystals, sort of alphabetizing them, cataloging them, trying to make some notes about where I got them, where they're from, that sort of thing. Because I used to be really good about that and then got a little bit left by the wayside. So I am up to the letter F going through this process, and I am going through all of my fluorite crystals right now, and I thought it would be really fun to do a little show and tell and show you some of my favorite fluorite crystals, because they have some that are really cool and really special from all over the world. Some of my personal favorites come from Cave and Rock in Illinois. My grandfather actually collects fluorite. That's like his primary mineral that he collects, and he got me really into Cave and Rock fluorite when I was really little, actually. In fact, the oldest crystal in my collection, meaning the one I've had the longest, I should say, is a piece of fluorite that I picked up from Cave and Rock, Illinois, from the dump pile when I was like 8 years old, and went there with him. So this is it. It is not exquisite or fantastic, but it's so special and so meaningful. It has some yellow and purple zoning, and it's just so special because I got it when I was there with my grandpa when I was 8 years old. So this has so much meaning, and it's in matrix. But I remember it was kind of sitting in the pile like this, and we were just going through looking to see if there were any crystals in the pile, and I flipped this over and saw all these crystals, and I was so excited to have found something. I was beyond thrilled. So this is one of my favorite pieces for sentimental reasons, but a gorgeous, gorgeous piece from the same location is this one right here. So this is what the super beautiful pieces of Cave and Rock fluorite look like. So this is from the very southern tip of Illinois. This one is like a beautiful blue with hints of violet, and it even has little tiny bits of pyrite on the surface of the stone, and you can see that gorgeous cubic crystal formation. But I find fluorite to be so helpful for mental clarity, for getting me sort of focused and grounded. I have ADHD, so when I'm personally struggling and I just need to sort of reset a little bit, if I find that I'm having a really, really hard time getting something done, especially something I really need to be getting done, I am a really tactile person, a really sort of kinesthetic person. So working with my hands, doing something with my hands helps me sort of reset my brain. And so I love connecting with a piece of fluorite, just sort of holding it. Palm stones are great for this. Little ones like this pretty green one are great. Just holding those for a few minutes really gets me sort of recentered. And I love having something to sort of sit and fidget with. So that's a really nice one. And then similar to that, I have this palm stone, which is sort of like a flat, sometimes they call this shape a soothing stone. This piece is from China, and some of the most beautiful rainbow fluorite comes from China. This is such a pretty piece. You can see that really distinct zoned banding. So the various colors, there's green, there's white, there's purple. You'll often find blue and yellow as well. In fact, I have some yellow with some rainbow banding. Here's a little cabochon. Can you see the color in that? It's really subtle, sort of pastel looking, but really pretty. Isn't that nice? I know, I love that. Here's another one. This is a little, sometimes they call this a pillow. But can you see that really nice zoned banding? Purple, white, green, blue. And this is one of the reasons I personally love fluorite so much. It has such a variety of colors, shapes, Here is one. This one's from Namibia. So it's green with a sort of purple crusty exterior. So you can see that cubic formation is really highlighted by that change in color, which I love. Yeah, exactly, that color ombre. Speaking of which, you gotta check this one out then. This is from Mexico. And it is like clear white, sort of snowy, icy, and then it's just ever so lightly frosted with lavender purple. It's so pretty. That's the back side. But you can see all that cubic structure just looks like little cities. It's so beautiful. And then sometimes you get some really dark pieces. These are sometimes called indigo fluorite. And you can, again, really appreciate the structure on this, but look how deep that is. Look at the deep color. And if you light this up from behind, it's actually like the darkest purple, like grape jelly purple. Love this. And then here is a piece from Illinois. It's cut into a slab or a slice. I love this because they left the exterior, the natural exterior, totally rough. But they have sliced it, and you can see the color zoning, which in fluorite is sometimes also referred to as a phantom, just like it is with quartz. But isn't that pretty? This looked like mountain peaks to me. So pretty. Yeah, isn't that shape cool? And slabs and slices are so lovely. You can lay them flat, place your crystals on them for charging. And I love working with things like that on my altar, especially. You can put little symbols or statues or other things on top of them, and then you have the energy of that crystal incorporated into your sacred space, which is fantastic. I kind of showed this one for just a second earlier. This piece is from Hunan, China. This is a green fluorite where the crystals have grown so close together in sort of like a rosette formation. And so it has taken on this botryoidal shape. But there's a true botryoidal fluorite, which is purple, also from China, that looks like this. This is just a little one. But you can see that bubble-like formation in this yttrium-bearing lavender fluorite. There's also rarely pink fluorite. And this piece is from Peru. So it might look kind of clear on screen, but it's very, very, very light pink. That only comes from Peru. That's really the only place we see this super light pink fluorite. I also have a little rough piece, but it looks a bit almost like morganite. It's so light in color. This is something I just got this year at the Tucson Gem Show. It is stunningly gorgeous. This is a Chinese fluorite. It has dodecahedral shaped crystals because in a cubic crystal system we can have outright cubes like we've seen, or you can have dodecahedron shapes, and this is with some quartz and calcite growing together. Super fun. This is one of my favorites also. This is a little piece of fluorite, a cubic fluorite crystal with some crystal drues, some calcite growing on the surface, sort of revealing that pretty fluorite underneath. There's also, this is really cool. This is actually from the United States. This is from Beryllium, Utah. So this is known as beryllium fluorite. It doesn't look like any other fluorite, right? It's sort of rough and crusty and chunky. And this is one of the components that you find in Tiffany stone. So if you've ever seen beautiful Tiffany stone with that gorgeous lavender color and usually like a white matrix, sometimes with peaches or pinks mixed in, that's what this is that's giving it that color. Here, this one's pretty cool. This one is from Musquis, Mexico. It's really transparent. It's actually very, very light green, but it has the best crystal formation, and it's on sort of a dark matrix, so it really allows you to see through the crystals into that backdrop. Really fun. Let's see, and then I have some of my favorites are English fluorites. So this one right here is from County Durham in England. This is a Weardale fluorite, and these are super UV reactive. So if you put them under black light, you will see the color light up. They're really neat. And then this one is also English. This is probably a Fosterly fluorite. This one I think was a gift from Nicholas Pearson at the Luminous Pearl before we went to our retreat together in England earlier this year. So there are loads of others. This one's really cool. This is from Hunan, China also, but it's lavender. Look at that pretty purple. So this is one of the reasons I love fluorite. It comes in such a huge variety. Oh my gosh, I didn't even show you really any yellow ones. So this one is from Mexico. This large sort of amber color. A lot of people get this mixed up with heat-treated citrine, but the way that you can tell is to look at the crystal structure. So you can see this has a cubic structure, which is going to be different than the heat-treated amethyst, which is going to have a hexagonal structure. So even though they're similar colors, they're both clusters, they're both on a matrix, that's how you can sort of tell the difference. Usually the price tag also, this is a little bit more expensive than the heat-treated amethyst. And then here is a Moroccan yellow fluorite with pyrite on it. And these are little pyrite nodules. So they're like little spherical growths of pyrite on this yellow fluorite. Oh, and Leaf Rose says, I've been totally drawn to the yellow lately. It's really cool, right? You can like see so much intense color, and going into autumn here in the Northern Hemisphere, it sort of makes sense that we'd be drawn to these really autumny colors, hence, you know, clothing right now. Here's a little tower. You can see the beautiful banding in this yellow fluorite. So yeah, do you have any questions about fluorite? Anything that you're wondering? Anything you want to share about how you work with it? I personally, like I said, love it for mental clarity. I also find that it really connects to the air element, which is another reason I think it works on sort of that mental aspect. Here is a piece. This one is brilliant blue. I got this one from the Tucson Gem Show this year. Well, it had to be this year because I didn't go last year because of COVID. But it has some calcite, but the color is so deep and gorgeous. Let's see, here's a green tower. And if there's anything else you want to know about fluorite, let me know. I love the rainbows that you often find in it. Leaf Rose says, yes, I just got a tower. I'm in Oshkosh and leaves are just getting their color. Yeah, the yellow fluorite is so nice. So, I mean, if you have an opportunity to work with it this time of year, I think that's great. I might actually put a piece of yellow fluorite on my altar right now because I've been working on illuminating some inspiration for new ideas, new projects that I want to work on here at the school. But having that clarity and focus is so important for getting those things done. So I think this is my sign to pick one of these pieces, put it on my altar. I might actually go with this one because the work that I'm doing is also very much spiritual for me. And so I have this beautiful piece that's yellow and it has purple caps, so to speak. But you can see that distinct zoning, those phantoms of color in here. That might be a really good piece to put on my altar. Okay, well, thank you for joining me for this super quick impromptu tour of some of my fluorite collection. There's a lot more to show. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to pop in, do some lives, share a little bit about some crystals in my collection and how you can work with them. I hope that this was informative, and until I see you next time, many crystal blessings.